Yeah, what's up, children of Earth? Welcome to another episode of Five Deep, five podcasters from around
All
the
right,
world,
Jonathan Ross. Fucking hell.
having some fun, trying to spit the words out under the name of accountability. How are we all doing, people?
Awesome.
Fucking
Can
unstoppable.
you hear me?
Yes.
Lee, we
I
can hear you. We can hear you. Lee, Jesus Christ, man. I see you've got your sun hat on. Are you protecting yourself from the infrared beaming hot rays here in the UK? It's like hell, isn't it?
It is, and I've got my suntan lotion ready to go right now.
We was just in the green room before this. We was having a chat to Howard, and he was trying to work out what the temperature is over in Texas. And it's colder over in Texas than what it is here in the UK right now. I feel this morning on my post round, I could feel my testicles sticking to my leg. It was that hot.
Well, what's the temp in Frisco? Because when I looked up Cornwall earlier, it was like 84, 83 Fahrenheit.
Oh, yeah, but it's hotter where I am. I'm in the real hot parts of Cornwall.
Okay, what's your temp today, Howard?
I'm only joking. It's about 35 where I was today.
It's 106 right here now.
It's definitely hotter in Texas. I mean,
Yeah, but what you got to realize is the heat's different in Cornwall.
It's different.
to
I
where-
knew you were gonna say
I've
that.
heard people say that. You know, just like Arizona heat.
It's a dry heat.
It's a dry heat.
You
Still
don't realize
An oven is a dry heat.
over in
It's like-
America, you've got those little wooden shack houses. Over here in the UK, it's proper built houses with proper insulation. We haven't got none of this air conditioning bollocks. You know, we've got like proper built houses, haven't we? The windows is our air conditioning.
Pop up.
Open and shut the window a few times.
How are we all doing, guys? Anyway, you all keeping well. It's nice to see you all here back. On this
Got
episode,
pool hair. I just got back
What?
from the pool. I rushed
just-
in. It's like,
fantastic. Well, in a minute, we're going to be talking about leveling up. I am super, super proud of how all of us in this group have, I feel, leveled up to the next level. So I thought this episode, what we can do is we can just basically, I don't know, Harvey didn't want to be here. There she is. Yeah, I thought we'd just go around the room and have a little bit of a chat there this evening and talk about what we've done in our lives to level up. Before we do, we'll start off with Lee. What's your week been like, Lee? Have you had any highs and lows or anything that's interesting that's been going on in your life? I know that on Voxer this morning you was saying a lot of shit. So what's been going on in the world of Lee Meakin?
Fucking busy, man. It's just crazy. Yeah, I missed a whole week of Oxford because I had my boy with me doing work experience, which was interesting. It was fun. And then the shit hit the fan at the weekend, just trying to catch up with everything. But, you know, wrap it up and put a bow on it. Fucking awesome. Really good weekend. But I'm sort of, what's the word? Looking at my life at the moment introspectively, because there's a few things that are going on that I'm going, what the fuck does that mean? So I started asking you guys some questions, making some statements and comments on Voxer, and got incredible feedback off everybody today. Replies, some awesome links that kind of frightened me a little bit. Thanks, Harmony. Appreciate your fucking input. But no, life's fucking awesome, man. Just I'm unstoppable. You know, just out here every day crushing it and just leveling up all the fucking time.
And Dabby
Love
Doze,
that.
before we go over to the Texas Fiddler, if there's any of you out there in the world of you of the tube that want to get in contact with us today, don't forget, leave some remarks in the comments. Tell us how you are doing in your life at the moment, how you intend to level up, or how you have leveled up in the last few weeks. since we
Surprise,
last-
motherfucker.
Oh my Jesus, who was that? Howard, how you doing, my friend? What's been going on in the world of Howard's Blend? And you know, have you got anything you want to tell us?
Just not much. Just working, taking care of Sam, and you know, just as you all know, Harmony, all you guys know, sent out the samples of the pre-workout just to get some feedback from people to see if they like the flavor and stuff. So, yeah, just going good.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Lady Garcia, what about you? How's your life going at the moment? And you know, any highs and lows of the week? Did you want to tell us anything that's been going on in your life? You know, is there any, you know, have you been hunting around and
Giga Chad.
to talk about? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's been quite a couple months, I must say. It's been fun. We've met some new people, which has been amazing. Save that for
Giga
another
chat.
time. I'll keep that for if we do the Patreon. You guys want to pay a little extra, buy us each a cup of coffee, donate, and you guys can maybe see some behind the scenes
Oh no, you're right.
secret talk on our official 5 Deep. That would be amazing.
I don't want to see
yeah,
any videos that you've recorded, Harmony. I'm not that intrigued. You know what I mean? I just wanted to know how things are going on in your life. Do you know what I mean?
You might not be, but somebody watching might really want to be nosy and know what is going on inside of my brain right now. No, it's just been really amazing. As you guys know, I'm working on the ebook that's geared, as I mentioned last time we were on, towards women with fibroids and women that are trying to be healthy and trying to just take care of their bodies without getting a script or getting surgery or anything like that. So it's just been really kind of fine tuning that thing we've all discussed in here about being in flow. And I've been challenging myself even more on societal norms. And it's been interesting when you start looking at societal norms. A lot of them are in place for a reason. Obviously, we have to get up and go to work. We have to be responsible. We have to take care of our responsibilities. But outside of doing that, how am I actually really living my life? Am I really, like today, for example, I would have gotten up, I would have given myself a rash of shit. I would have had this list of tasks that I needed to do before I could do anything else. And I just kind of went in flow today. I did the things that I needed to do this morning and then worked on the ebook a little bit and went to the pool. I was like, I'm going to have to be working full stop the whole rest of the week. I'm going to take a little break on a Monday that societal norms says that's wrong on every level. So I've just was thinking while I was, doing all these things I've been doing in my life. And I was like, I really just don't know how much time I have left on the planet. And I don't mean to be cheesy about that, but I just want to have as much bliss as I possibly can. And so if that means making some adjustments in places where society says I shouldn't be, graciously fuck society. I'm just going to start living my life in flow and see what happens. We'll try it for a little while.
Sweet.
That's my week. That's been my week.
We're going to go over to Rodney in a minute in Connecticut, but he's having a few little technical issues there. There's going to be a thunderstorm and he's having problems with his internet. But before we go over to him, I think Lee wanted to say something there. He had his hand up like a little schoolboy. Please, sir, please, please, please. Go on,
Yeah,
Lee.
this is fucking wild because everything Harmony's just said about societal norms, like the universe is fucking incredible. I've started listening to Alan Watts, and for 4 hours today, he's been talking about exactly that, and that's just blown my mind. I'm like, what the fuck? And some of the shit he comes out with, I'm driving, and I'm like, oh, my God, and I can't get Voxer out quick enough. I'm fucking taking notes and making voice recordings. The guy is a god.
Sweet. Let's see if
Can I just say something real quick? I know you guys aren't really big into the woo-woo. I get that. I understand it. Lee would probably be my closest confidant in that, and as far as everybody in here goes, because he's leaned more towards that, more in the last year or so.
What do you mean the woo-woo?
Not the drinks.
Just like things being in alignment, things being synchronistic, it being no accident that Lee has been brought into my life to however long we've been in this group now together for a while, and the conversations that we've had, and just believing that nothing happens on accident, believing that we are exactly where we were meant to be at any given time, and buying into the magic and the beauty of that. Like, that doesn't even surprise me that I came in and said all that, and Lee was like, oh my God, I was listening to that this morning. It doesn't even surprise me at all. I just think people are brought together when they're supposed to be, and call it woo, call it coincidence, you can call it whatever you want, but I think it's really, really awesome. I saw his face light up, made me really excited.
Good on you. Good on you. Yeah, I'm into that shit. I was going to say, let's see if we can get over to Rodney, but he just, as soon as I said, he disappeared. So I know he'll come back in a minute. I'll tell you what I've been getting up to. I've had a really, really fantastic couple of weeks. I've now lost 20 pounds in weight. I'm out doing jogging and having some fun. I think I did mention that I've put myself down to do the Plymouth Half Marathon next May. And I've been basically back out on the trails, running around lakes, and I've done a 5K run there with Harmony the other day. Well, virtual. I didn't fly over to America or anything like that. She done her 5K and I done my 5K, and I've really, really surprised myself in the last 2 weeks. I may have got a man belly and I may have got man moves that bounce around when I run, but I am actually quite fit. So I've quite surprised myself. I don't think it ever really, really goes away. It's a mental thing running. But I'm really, really enjoying that moment. So Rodney's back. We're going to try and speak to him while he's here. Rodney, how's your week been going, or your 2 weeks? And, what's been your high and lows?
Can you hear me good, first of all?
You're a little bit quiet, but we can hear you.
What about now? Is that better?
That's better.
Yeah. My internet, it's about to go out again. I'm not even gonna I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna have to drop out. I had a good couple of weeks, a lot of relaxing, which is what I needed to do. You guys know I work pretty hard, so one of the things I wasn't doing, I was going 100 miles an hour, work to the next thing. Now, when I had some quiet time, I just chilled out, laid around, relaxed. If I didn't go to sleep, I just laid there. I did get a little bit of sun, but I didn't spend a lot of time outside. But I made sure that I relaxed and recovered for the last couple of weeks.
Good
on you. That's what you needed, man. All work and no play makes Rodney not so gay. Little wiggle finger there, Lee. Little, we was on the same wavelength. But well, you stay with us there, Rodney. Hopefully we'll just interact. And if you disappear, then we know it's because you haven't put the 50p in the internet meter.
I think he's frozen again.
Yeah, he has. Let's just say whatever we want about him now.
Put your hands in front of his
hear
eyes.
us. There you are. Hello, Rodney. Hello. No, he's gone. He's comatized. So who wants to start off? We're talking this week about leveling up. It's time to level up. That's what the title was for this week's episode. And I feel that every single one of us in the last 2 weeks have leveled up. So who wants to start the ball rolling? Who wants to tell us why they feel they've leveled up, and what amazing things have gone on in their life in the last 2 weeks that makes them feel that they've stepped up a pace? Is there anybody there that wants to start off?
I'll go. Unless you want to go, Howard. You go.
Ladies first.
You guys, I mentioned to you guys. Okay. Yeah, he's like, fuck it, Harmony's gonna talk anyway. So it occurred to me, I don't know if I mentioned to you guys or if it's my other group, but about controlled chaos. And it's what I did my podcast on this over the weekend, and it'll be out. I'll probably finish editing it tonight. It's a really short episode, but just the concept of controlled chaos and how it is so important in leveling up. In the sense, what I mean by controlled chaos is, I think I've mentioned to you guys, but not anybody who may watch this. It's just kind of rocking your boat a little bit, getting yourself deviating from your normal traditional moves that you would make in any given day. You get up, you have your morning routine, and then, you go about your business, you go to work, you do whatever, you see all the same people, you drive the same way to work, all that shit. And then you get off work, and then you usually have your nighttime routine, right? And then you go to bed and you do it all over again. And as I mentioned in the podcast, one of my favorite muse author, motivational speakers would be a Iyanla Vanzant. And one of the things she talks about a lot is that you don't really know where you are in your level of personal development until the shit hits the fan and you get sucker punched by something. Your partner cheats on you or tells you they're not in love with you anymore. Something happens health-wise to you or a loved one. You lose your job. Something happens and it causes a real big hiccup in your life. Well, what happens immediately is all of your trauma and areas that you still need to do work, they bubble to the surface. And you were able to then skim that off and work on it as you see accordingly. But in my mind, like I mentioned in the show, I could go about my business and live in Asheville and have my business and do what I do and, go on my nightly runs with Marabella. And I would probably be happy as a pig in shit for the rest of my life. But the bottom line of it is that's not serving me in the Department of Growth. And I really have just learned, this is the interesting part. Throughout my life being in survival mode and putting myself in precarious situations unintentionally, I automatically was in survival mode. So I automatically was constantly gauging where I am in my personal development. And now that everything's been running smoothly, so to speak, I dominated my separation. I dominated my divorce. I was so proud of myself about the way that I handled that. Still through all the hurt and everything. But now it's just, I've been a little bit on cruise control. Everything's been, thankfully, I'm so grateful, going well. And I've been meeting great people and experiencing good things. I've been diving into my meditation and my daily things that I've finally fucking dominated, vitamins and wellness and eating good and all that shit that takes obviously most of a lifetime, because as you guys know, I've only been doing it consistently for a few years. But I realized, okay, Harmony, what can I do to rock the boat? What can I do to apply some controlled chaos so that I can kind of gauge where I'm at in my ability to navigate life, and where am I in my level of personal development? So I think that is one thing that I've had a big epiphany about over the last couple of weeks, is that it's time, at times in our life, we are meant to incorporate some kind of a controlled chaos to gauge where we are in our level of growth. And I think that, how do you go about doing that? Well, that's something that's going to be coming up on my upcoming episodes of my podcast, because the next series is all about emotional intelligence. We talk about IQ. We talk about our intelligence level when it comes to how smart we are, square root of this, fucking science that. But how emotionally intelligent are you? What is your capability when life throws you a curveball? How able are you to navigate that? Do you get angry? Do you get anxious? Do you lean on your addictions? Do you push people away, or do you reach out and ask for help? Do you use meditation instead of alcohol? It's hard to do. So I think, that's just kind of where I'm at. And I'd be curious to know what y'all's opinion are on, what do you do if your life is just kind of on a hamster wheel like most people's, and you're moving forward and you feel like you need something to shake shit up a little bit. How do you go about creating that if life is good and you don't want to ruin the whole foundation you've built with your families or whatever? You know what I mean? It's just it's kind of an interesting, would require a lot of strategy. So I'm curious to know what you guys think about all that, the controlled chaos thing.
Well, can I just jump in there? Because I have been on that hamster wheel now with my podcasting and everything that I've been doing for the last 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And, we keep asking ourselves the who are we thing and stuff like that. And about 2 weeks ago, I felt that I was right back at square one again, where I didn't know what the fuck I was doing and all this lot. And me and Lee had an interesting conversation on Voxer one morning. And before he asked the question, I knew exactly what he was going to say. Mark, you need to ask yourself the why. Why are you doing it? Who are you? And I just sat there in the van, and I just spent the whole day on my post van asking myself questions as I was walking around. And I think answering that question that you're talking about there, Harmony, how do you get off that hamster wheel? It's by being part of an accountability group like we are, and being able to ask people in the group when you're feeling a little bit down, when you're feeling a little bit shit, where am I going wrong here, guys? What am I supposed to do? I really, really don't know what I'm doing at the moment. How do I do it? And Lee done that with me the other day. There, he helped me out, and his missus has just walked past.
Hi, Carrie.
She thought that we didn't see her, but we did. Give her a little wave.
So cute, the duck. That's so adorable.
Speak past. It was terrible.
Yeah, we seen her. So I just basically asked myself the question again, and I was surprised with the results that came across. And that little conversation I had with Lee made things so much clearer for me in the last 3 weeks. It made me realize that I am here, right? I am one of these people, one of the lucky people. What is it, Lee? Was it 17 million to 1 chance of being born? Was it
400 trillion to 1?
Bit more than that. Then 400 trillion to 1 chance of being born. And I thought, I have done the hardest thing in my life ever. I, made it. I am alive. And I just feel now I'm here on this planet. I haven't wasted 45 years, but it's time for me now to make the most out of the time that I've got left on this planet. It is time to speak to as many people. My purpose is to talk to people. I love, love, love talking to people. I'm not doing it enough. I'm not doing it right. We all want to go out there and get that massive interview with famous podcasters or celebrities. But there's so many more people out there that is as important as these celebrities. There's so many people out there that need somebody to talk to, that don't know what a podcast is, that if you can tell them what a podcast is, it might change their lives. And it made me think, I have got another 40, 50 years to talk to people. And the only way I'm going to be doing this is to look after my body, to eat right, to keep hydrated, do plenty of exercise. I've got an important role to look after my children and my other half. And the only way I can look after them and look after these people and talk to all these people is if I am number one in my life and I start looking after myself. And
Absolutely.
I've been doing that now for 3 weeks, 2 weeks, and I feel absolutely fantastic.
Well, can I ask you a personal question? How is the fam noticing anything? Is Nikki noticing anything? I think it's interesting to.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
I mean, today, prime example. I came home from work today. I didn't go out for a jog today. I'm leaving it till tomorrow because it was quite warm today. I know we all set in jest, but for what we're used to over in the UK, me running out, I'd done 27 degrees there the other night and I was sweating my ass off. And it was 32, 33 today. And I thought, right, I'm going to leave it till tomorrow, but I'm not going to sit around and do bugger all. I went out in the garden and I cut a tree down and I've done loads of work in the front garden. And that, when Nikki came home and all that was done, and there was a massive, great big pile of stuff that I've got to take to the tip tomorrow, it was just like, oh, shit, you know what I mean? And, the things need to be done. I can't sit on my ass anymore and, oh, well, I'll do that another day. They need to be done today. I might not be here tomorrow,
Yeah.
So, yeah, people have noticed,
I do want to say very quickly, real quick, when I was speaking of looking at societal norms differently, coming home and having a rest on the couch, like look at that under a microscope for 10 minutes, like really think about what that is. And in our society says that that's required. That is rest. You have to rest. And I'm not saying don't rest. I'm just saying rethink it. Rethink what that looks like in your life and what is she naked or something? She's got clothes on. I just say rethink all of those things that we say in passing, that it's like, oh, I'm going to have a cheat day on my diet, or I'm going to have a rest day, or what does that even mean? Like say personally, individually, question coming home and chilling on the couch. Is that good to do? I guess. Is it? I don't know. Is it required? Maybe. I don't know. Somebody's working as much as Rodney is. And yes, he needs to come home and force himself to do nothing and be vertical for a little, or horizontal for a while. You know what I mean? But as far as your daily habits, like ask yourself that question. What am I eating? What am I doing? When I get up in the morning, like just spend 1 24-hour period really hyper focusing on the choices you fucking make in a given day and see which one of those are really serving you and which aren't. So when you say I come home and sit down on the couch, I think a lot of people do that. A lot of people think that that's some kind of like a necessity or a gift, and it's actually doesn't serve you in any way whatsoever. It's just fucking wasting time. That's all it's doing.
Well, I mean, there's nothing the matter with, like you say, there's nothing the matter with sitting on, as long as you don't make it
habitual.
Continuous thing. And I come home on Saturday and I sat down on the sofa. Nikki was down the caravan. The boys were away. I had the evening to myself, and I thought, right, I'm going to just sit and relax. And I couldn't do it. I sat there for 20 minutes, half an hour, and I thought, nope, I've got to get out there and I get a fucking run on. And I thought, well, it's hot temperature. I looked at on my map and I thought, where can I go for a run? And I drove 8 miles to this place where I wanted to go for a run. And it was 2.8 miles around this reservoir. And I thought, right, I'm either going to it was flat, so I thought I'm actually going to pound this and do a quick 2.8, or I'm going to do 2 laps of it. And I just thought, right, we'll see where it goes. And I ended up doing 2 laps of it. And I driving home, I was sweating my ass off. My arms were wet. Do you know what I mean? You know when you've done a real good fitness journey and you're absolutely wet all over. And I was driving home and I thought, now I know why Harmony and Howard does this, because I just felt amazing coming home. And I could have come home and had a takeaway, but I didn't. I come home, I cooked something, I sat down, I had a cold beer, a non-alcoholic beer, which is about 70 calories or something. And I really, really did feel good. And I woke up the next day and felt proud of myself. And, it just wasn't a wasted day. Harmony's clapping there. Harmony's clapping. So Howard, this is the reason why you run, isn't it? How have you leveled up? I've noticed we've all noticed that you've leveled up as well. So tell us a little bit what you've done to level up recently.
The main thing is just taking action. As I put in my YouTube vlogs, just procrastinating for so many years. It's just, whether that action is quote unquote right or wrong. I mean, I don't think there's really no wrong action as long as you're just taking action. You learn a lesson. I mean, you talked about, Mark, how you first said you wasted those years. And I've said that before. I said, oh, I wasted all that time. Well, it's not really wasting it. You learned a lesson.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's just as Harmony says, you get tired of your bullshit that you feed yourself. And it's like, all right, do I want to be, Harmony also said this as well, play the movie out to the end. If I imagine this time next year, it's like, do I really want to be doing the same thing I'm doing before, which was nothing? No. And that scares me to have another year. And it's like, oh crap, I haven't done anything. So it's like, let's just do it. I remember I told my mom that I was doing these supplements. She's like, well, Howard, that with the economy and everything like that, I mean, you sure this is the right time? And I said, no, I don't know it's the right time. Nobody ever knows. That's the whole point. You take the risk, and then if it doesn't work, okay, but at least I know I would have given it 100%. So, and blessing to my mom, she was like, yeah, it's a great answer. I'm all for it.
When
wish you
is
the best
the
of
right,
luck.
when is the right time?
Right now.
There's always some, how many people have made a big business or a big change in their life during COVID, when COVID was supposed to be possibly the end of the world and we're all going to get sick? Some people, all they could do was stay at home and build a business. And lots of people would have said, no, that's the wrong time because we're going to go into a recession. But there's so many people out there that have made it work. So when is the right time?
Yesterday.
Well, what you said, what you were talking about before, or in Harmony as well, there are people that use COVID to catch up on Netflix the whole time. And then there are people who learn new skills. It's like, well, I'm at home, I can't work or work from home, whatever it is, I have this extra time. Let me learn something new and let me learn new skills. And then now they can monetize those skills or at least lead to monetization. Whereas other people, as I said, just, oh, wow, I watched all the episodes of Game of Thrones for the third time. And it's like, and hey, if they're happy, if they're happy in their life, if they come, like Harmony said, if they come home from work and they watch TV and they're happy in their life, hey, they're better off than most people that aren't happy. So more power to them. It's if they complain like, oh, I'm not getting more life. Well, then look at what you're doing every day. It's what we're all doing here in this group. Yeah. We're trying to look at what we're doing. Okay, how is this going to benefit us moving forward?
And the thing is like you were saying there as well, no matter what you do, no matter what you watch on telly, you can draw something from that. The last week or so, I've been really, really interested in the Krays, the London gangsters, the Krays. And I've been watching a lot of their stuff. And what I didn't realize was the amount of money and the amount of contacts that they were making whilst they were in prison through like email and stuff, and not necessarily email, but building up their client list and selling stuff and, getting names on a bit of paper, like an email list kind of thing. All these clients that they were finding in prison whilst they were in prison. Now, if you can build an empire, whilst you're in prison, it all depends on how much you want it, doesn't it? It really, really does. And that's a prime example. If you really, really want it and you're not prepared to just sit and rot in prison and you want to make a name for yourself and you want to be the biggest person on the planet, you want to be remembered for what you've done, you've just got to get out there and find a way of doing the shit.
Well, I just heard you said something about gangsters, and that's so funny because they take an opportunity and they run with it, right, wrong, or indifferent. And Rogan was just talking about, I guess, gangsters and they've gotten into the avocado game, avocados and limes. Like, you know what? There might be criminals, but can you question their genius?
Yeah.
Avocados with cocaine in it. Oh, wow. I got more than I bargained for. 2
birds, 1 stone.
It's amazing. There's valuable information out there, whatever you watch there. So how about you, Lee, then? I mean, I know a lot of your time you've been spending leveling up, building your surroundings, your empire at home. Tell us about how you've been leveling up recently.
My idea of leveling up is to consume as much knowledge as I possibly can and then put that into action as and when required. So, over the last maybe 6 to 8 months, we've had this conversation a couple of times, and it gets to the point where I get really fucking angry because I ask myself this question. We all ask ourselves this question, and it's going to fly in the face of a lot of the conversations we've had. Who are you? And for months, I've been going, who are you? What am I about? Who are you? Who am I? What the fuck are you doing? And I was listening to this audiobook this morning, and the title of the chapter was "Who Are You?" And I'm like, oh, this is good. I'm gonna, learn how to figure out who I am. So Alan was pontificating on life and expectations and all this sort of stuff, and he goes, "So how do you figure out who you are?" I was like, oh, this is it. This is where I'm going to get to find out who I am. And he goes, you can ask yourself this question until you drive yourself mad. And the answer is, you're no one. And I was like, what the fuck? This guy reminds me of Eckhart Tolle a lot. And he said, the reason you can't figure out who you are is because you already know. You just haven't seen it yet. You are a part of this massive organism that exists on planet Earth, that is part of the universe. That's who you are. And I was like, fuck, I don't need to know who I am because I am nobody. I am everything. I'm one thing. I was like, my mind was just blown. Like, I'm doing a really shit job of explaining this, but it's one of those situations, when you can explain something a million times, but somebody just doesn't understand. They have to actually sort of have an internal process of enlightenment for it. But yeah, this whole who are you thing, I was like, fucking hell, I don't need to ask who I am because I am nobody. I don't need to know who I am because I am the universe. I am you. I am Howard. I am Harmony. I'm a tree. I'm a rock. I'm paint. I'm everything. And like for about an hour, I was just thinking in my mind, and I had to go back and listen to the whole chapter again because I lost my way. But my point is, for me, leveling up is absorbing as much knowledge from everywhere, unexpected places. Now, if you want to live your life to the best of your ability, you have to expose yourself to external knowledge, other forms of information. If you're going to carry on living your life and expect things to change when you speak to the same people, you read the same books, and you watch the same TV shows, your life is going to suck at 50 as it did at 20. I had this conversation with my 15-year-old son today. I said, if you carry on doing what you're doing with the people you're doing it with, you're going to be in the same fucking position when you're my age. And he was like, so what are you telling me? I should get rid of my friends? I said, I'm not telling you to do anything. It's up to you. But understand you are this average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. And it's up to you. Like Howard said, if you want to do what you're doing and you're happy, fucking more power to you. But the moment you start complaining, it's your own fucking fault. Yeah. So leveling up for me is just consume as much knowledge as I possibly can, and I do it 24/7. As you guys know, I drive lots and lots of miles. I've got audiobooks, podcasts, and I chat to you guys on Voxer. I get shitloads of information off of everybody. And as long as I'm better tomorrow than I was today, fucking ace.
Yeah. And that is really, really amazing stuff that you said there, Lee. Really, really hits home because, we quite often say when the question's asked, who are you? How many of us start like putting the negativity on ourselves? Oh, how do I answer that? Well, I'm only a 45-year-old guy. I'm nothing special. And I flipped that back on myself and I said, I was born. I had that 450 trillion to 1 chance of being born. I am fucking amazing. I have achieved that one thing that 450 trillion never done. And I actually felt guilty at 45 that I have just been like spent the last 20 years getting pissed and getting stoned and not making the most out of my life. And I was saying to George when we was on the coastal path there last week, I said, I've lived in Cornwall for 45 years and there's places of Cornwall that I've never, ever been to. And now I'm beginning to see it. and now I want to see more. And I want to go to all these places, and I want to see all these people. And I went out and bought an audio recorder so I can go out and interview these people, because there's these people everywhere that don't think that they're anything special, that have got an amazing story to tell. And I want to speak to all of those people. And the only way I'm going to speak to all of those people is if I last on this planet as long as I possibly can.
That would be such a good show. Like you just moving through Cornwall, the guy in the van that you saw when you guys were doing the coastal path. Remember, you saw him on the way going and then coming back. He was still there, and he works, but he can't afford to have a place. And like that conversation, even if it was a 15-minute podcast episode, just the high points about who is he, what's his demographic, where's he from, how'd he get there. Human interest pieces are so powerful. And I mean, I can't wait to start hearing some of your episodes, because I know there's got to be so many amazing people in Cornwall that you have an opportunity to have a conversation with and share with us.
I mean,
you could almost say, after 45 years, you could almost say, just to push it a little bit, how selfish are you, Mark?
Yeah, I know.
To have all these talents and skills, and you're hiding them from everybody. Like, how selfish are you?
But it wasn't just that, mate. It was little thing that I was like, you know, we all make excuses like, oh, I can't go near that cliff top because I'm afraid of heights.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm telling myself.
Yeah.
Fucking jump off the cliff top, and whatever happens, happens. Now, I'm not telling you should do that, but what I'm saying is, how do you know what is at the other end of that cliff top until you've been over the top? And I'm only saying that, I'm not saying that, you know, I'm saying that as metaphorically, you know, we all say that, oh, I can't do that. I'm frightened. I'm allergic to that, or I don't like this. Fuck it, just go with it. Because, you know, your time will be when your time is.
Yeah, we only limit ourselves so much on how we describe ourselves and how we think of ourselves. We limit ourselves. We shoot ourselves in the feet right before we have an opportunity to even do a fucking thing. So just like I had told you guys my whole life, I always said I'm not built to be a runner. And that was obviously, it just, all that did was it made me deviate from the real truth, was that I was jealous of people who went running. I always wanted to be a runner, and I was completely lying to myself, and I didn't notice it because it didn't fit into who I thought I was at the time. And I can't say enough about how powerful that is. And I would ask anybody the question who's on here watching us or watches us in the future, who are you to yourself? Lee is right. We are nobody, but we are everybody. We are everything. We are all connected. I don't give a shit what anybody says. I've been living it, experiencing it, but I would question anybody watching this to say, ask yourself the question whenever you have an opportunity to, who are you, and how do you look at yourself, and how is that directly playing into what your life looks like every day? It's quite amazing the shit we can accomplish when we remove social normalities, social stigmas, social, you know, or whatever the fuck. Like it sounds cheesy, but we do have the power to be whatever we want.
Yeah. And we've all got a purpose. We've all got we've all got a special power. We've all got something about us that is amazing. Yep. And you know, just like we're saying, when I went along that coastal path and I come across this white van, and there was a bloke there sat there reading a book on the Friday evening. And me and George went and walked 20 miles, and we came back on the Sunday evening, and that guy was still there sunbathing. And I just went over. You're right, mate. How's it going? And I talked to him. My zone of genius is talking to people. And I got chatting to this bloke. And next minute, I'm asking him how much a week he's earning and stuff like that. And George looked at me and goes, "Whoa, that's a bit of a personal question." Right? And the bloke was like, no, it's all right. It's cool. It's cool. Because I have got that capability of talking to people and getting deep conversations and being friendly and getting shit back. That is what my zone of genius is. And as a result of that conversation, I came home that very evening and ended up being on national radio, right? Because I put myself out there. I rung up a radio station that was talking about, they had a conversation going up. And I told my story that made people, possibly hundreds of people across the country, thousands of people across the world, listen to my story and made them think.
Not to mention, how did you positively affect the gentleman in the van? We all, at the end of the day, I don't give a shit what you aspire to be. It comes down, it's simply put, and we've talked about how difficult we make our lives, but simply put, we all just want to be seen. We want to be seen, we want to be acknowledged, and we want to be appreciated for who we are as we are. No embellishments. Doesn't give a shit what your job title is, how much money you have. And what you did, the gift you gave out of your curiosity was letting that man be seen. You gave him an opportunity, whether it was 10 minutes or 30 minutes, to share his story. And you probably made him feel so valued. And I just think that that's, it's contagious. It can't do anything but good.
Yeah. Yeah. And I went on a national radio station talking to a lady that I thought was going to rip me to pieces. And she gave me some quite nice feedback, to be honest with you. And I was just like, I felt really good from it, because we've all got a story to tell. We've all got a secret power. We've all got amazing things about us that needs to be shared. And sitting on your ass and not doing anything about it and using the excuse, oh, it's too wet outside, or I don't want to. An old man ran past me. This is how it all got started for me. An old man ran past me. He was about 80, right? And he just ran past me one day, and I thought, fucking hell. And there's a guy that's just ran past me, and it's 80-year-old. I'm using the excuse that I've got a sore foot, that I'm overweight, that I'm too old, I'm 45, to get out there and do my shit. And I just said, Mark, just have a fucking word with yourself. Just have a word with yourself. And now I'm going out there and doing all that stuff that I really, really enjoy doing, just because I saw that 80-year-old go past, you know, and he showed me up. And like Lee said, he made me feel embarrassed. He made me feel selfish that here we are, you know, I'm 45 years of age. And like Howard said, yeah, I have, you know, haven't wasted 45 years of me, but it made me question myself. Have I made the most out of those 45 years? What have we got here? Is Lee's favorite friend. Awesome Bill. Awesome Bill, definitely helping me through the last hour at work.
Thank you for watching.
Nonconformist.
She's become a regular. I really appreciate you so much for watching us.
Thank you very much. So where are we going from this, guys? How are we going to level up to the next level from where we're at the moment? That's an interesting one, because there's many people that's watching us now that have seen us leveling up, heard us talk about how we're going to level up, but it doesn't end there, does it? You know, when you, like a computer game, when you level up to level 2, you either die on level 2 or you level up to level 3. Yeah. So what I want to do is go around the room now and say, well, you know, we're on level 2. We've leveled up to level 2. Are you prepared to just die on this level, or are you going to level up to level 3? And how are you going to go about doing it? So Howard's the person to speak to first. How are you going to what are you going to do to level up to level 3 there, Howard? Or are you quite happy just dying on level 2?
Well, not level 2, but level 3. The next one is to just really reach out and communicate my message to people more. I feel at this moment that just trying, I guess in terms of what I mean is marketing to everybody at this point, I think is going to work for me. This is how I feel. I may be wrong. This is how I feel. So I need to find the people that are interested in my product. Now, who my customer is somebody who is serious about changing their life for the better. That's it in a simple term. And we want to use my products that I produce as a tool to help them, it's not a cure-all, it's a tool. And how I plan about doing that, like going out, reaching out to the masses and everything. I feel at this point, since I'm so new, I mean, literally my foot is just like right over the starting line, you know, on it, is show up more on social media. And now how I get people attracted, because, you know, if you get on social media now, you can get lost in it. And one of the things that's been suggested to me is giveaways. Giveaways are the easiest thing, because I mean, who doesn't want something free, you know, quote unquote free.
And then you collect a database of email and people that you can market to specifically. Yeah,
exactly. And then and then from that I can determine, okay, what is the common denominator of people who are maybe returning or are interested or something like that in the product. because it's literally, it's made, the product is made for everybody, but not everybody. I mean, maybe not everybody wants to use it. I don't know.
And how's it going with the gym thing? Have you been back to the gym? Are you going to put some samples in the gym or some product in the gym?
Yeah. When I get the product is when it was told me to come back. Because like right now, I'm just handing out samples of like little vials, and they're like, well,
they're like, what the fuck's this?
It's with insurance and everything. They were kind of like nervous about it. And, but yeah, when I get the product, then I can talk to them about it. Absolutely.
That's going to be exciting. I think that's going to be a game changer.
Can I ask you a question, Howard? Because you said that your client, your future client, your business, the people that's going to buy your product are people that are serious. Are serious. What about the people? How do you get those people that aren't yet serious? Do you get where I'm coming from? So people that haven't discovered that it's time to go to the gym, how do you find that person that's not discovered that seriousness yet?
Well, that's part of what Harmony just said, is like going into the gyms. Now, the gyms I've spoken to are pretty hardcore gyms, and I have not talked with like big, commercial gyms and stuff. I don't even know what the process is for that. That's one way, because there's, if you go to, I'll name a name, even though I don't want to get on Rodney here, Planet Fitness. Most of the clientele there are people who are probably pretty new or, not really into fitness. That's an example, but primarily it's going to be more education, like what I do on social media. Now, I have, right now, be careful with my language here. I am working on, I know that like my supplement science episodes, that and I've been told this, it's too deep for a lot of people. That doesn't mean it's bad.
People tune out. They tune out.
Yeah.
They get bored. They're just like, what the fuck's the point? Was this guy getting at?
And well, that, and then also what Corey Tolar, the owner of Pure Grade Supplements, he said most people automatically think that when you start getting deep in the science that you're a bullshit artist, that you're just fucking around with them, unless because I don't have a doctor by my name or anything like that. So there's things I'm working on where instead, having the big, in-depth episode, but then doing like a 10-minute quick summary on it. Like you said, like, oh, it does this. Something people
how about a 2-minute summary?
Yeah, well, that too.
And I also had an idea, not to interrupt your flow, but just kind of popped in my head. Maybe it's not about gearing towards people who are serious about fitness. Maybe it would be awesome as a dad to gear your stuff towards parents that want to support a local company. So rather than trying to go after people, you're going to have to be competing with this, Joe Rogan, he pushes pre-workout, he pushes protein powders, all these big, like, what is it going to be about Howard's Blend that is going to make somebody at a gym say, I'm going to not buy this anymore on subscription. I'm going to go buy from Howard's Blend. So I wonder if maybe going into the gym and just asking some questions and say, what would it take for you to get off of your regular protein and support a local company that's a dad?
Absolutely.
And it worked.
And I only mentioned the serious part because that's what I think right now. But as I just mentioned before, I don't know if that's going to be the market. I can market to athletes, but I don't know if athletes are going to take it or not. It may be like Harmony mentioned, it may be the dad who's just looking to try to stay in shape, or the mom who's just looking to try to be a little bit healthier to be able to run and play with their kids and everything. It may be that.
Can I ask you something there? And I want you to be completely honest with me here now, not just because I'm sat here on a screen with you and we've known one another for a long time, right? Would I be one of your serious customers?
Yes.
Why?
Because you have gotten to the point, based on what you said, where you're willing to make the sacrifices to make the changes to better yourself. That's
right.
Why.
That's okay.
Serious doesn't mean that you have to have 6-pack abs and have this unattainable image that you see, like, if you see on social media for fitness. It's what I've talked about before, the spirit, mind, body.
Right.
It's the mindset above anything if you're willing to get there. But
the reason why I ask is because I like listening to your episodes, but sometimes they do go over my head a little bit. So if I am one of your serious people but I don't understand what you're talking about. How about you do some of your episodes with somebody like myself, where I'm like, whoa, Howard, what the fuck are you talking about here, man? Break it down to me a little bit easier, so that the serious person that's just starting out, that you want to reach out to and help, I can be that person, or Lee can be that person, or whoever, and say, right, look, you're a bit deep for me here, Howard, break it down. I think that would be a really good episode.
Absolutely. Yeah. Always happy to answer any questions and try to make it as easy as possible, because there's, it does get very deep, and that's my, that's what I get enjoyment. I love digging into that stuff, and so I'm just displaying what I enjoy. But then, yeah, it's above a lot of people's heads. I've had family members stuff listen to it before, and they're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And I was like,
I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Why would somebody buy Howard's Blend protein powder or pre-workout if there's 50 million packages of it from 50 million other companies at GNC and Target and Walmart and Amazon? What is going to be the kicker that is going to make them choose you not just once, but over and over again?
And that's what I've discussed before. The unique selling point or unique selling proposition with the protein powder. And this is completely honest. There's not much. Now, there are some companies out there, I won't list them, but some companies have, what's the term? Affiliations with major like General Mills and stuff, where they can incorporate their flavor and everything. And so it tastes like Chips Ahoy cookies or something like that. That's their unique selling point. But in terms of protein, if it's whey protein, everybody's got whey protein. Everybody's got vegan protein. So in terms of right now, this very moment, my unique selling proposition is me. That's why I post everything to Howard's Blend.
And now, why would they pick you? That's what I'm saying. Why would they have and I'm saying that as a rhetorical question, but they need to be invested in you, whether that is from I'm a single dad, because you kind of are. I'm a local company. I'm local based out of Frisco, and I'm really trying to support my family. And, it's got to be some kind of an angle like that that's going to make somebody come in and pick you, because I think you're amazing and we all think you're amazing, but it'd be important to get them to understand that you're amazing so that they want to invest in your future.
Yeah. And I think to that point was why I also started doing the vlogs, showing my journey, showing the struggles that I have while I'm trying to do this. Like, it's something that I found missing from other, vlogs and stuff that I've seen. Is I want to go behind the scenes and show people like, hey, this is what I deal with on a weekly basis. Is these are some of the stuff going through my head. This is the problems, and ultimately to get people to, hopefully notice me, and that's the plan. And then they say, okay, I want to support Howard. Pardon me. It's like, it feels like 106 degrees in here as well. To support me. And then they're willing, like, okay, what's the saying in marketing? I know, like, and trust Howard because he kind of shows me what's going on. I want to support him, and his products are good. His products are thoroughly tested. They're made in reputable facilities and everything. So sorry, go ahead.
Marta's just said, great idea to have a chat with someone who will have to share your info on a different level. And I think, this is just me chucking it out to you there. I think that you have a lot more to offer, and I think that you could do this locally. So I'm not saying have me on your podcast, but why not go out around Frisco, and why not talk to people outside a gym with the owner of the gym's permission, of course, and ask them what they want in a protein powder, what they want in a pre-workout, and then you talk to them and give them your advice, and also become a bit more of like a personal coach to them. That is something that you could chuck on top with your protein powder. So you're not just selling your protein powder to them, you're selling them your knowledge. Almost like when they buy your stuff, you can be there for 24/7 just to get them started out, to help them, to give them advice, you know. So, you know, I mean, if I could buy Huel and every time I didn't, you know, I wanted some advice and he was at the end of an email or something like that, I mean, that would be fantastic. So, you know, offer your service a little bit more and go out and do some one-to-one podcasts with people outside the gym and just chat the shit with people, find out what they're interested in, and do interviews on salvia or whatever you was doing in the past, you know. And was it salvia? That's stuff you smoke, isn't it? I don't know.
Choline. Have you thought about being a personal personal trainer?
No, not really. No, I haven't thought of that. No.
Anyway,
but I am available to anybody that purchases it. You know, I am available to give them advice if they have any questions. Absolutely, I make that abundantly clear that yes, I am available all the time.
Over to Lee.
No, other way.
Box. Or
What about
me? It's this way.
go on, you go upwards, Howard.
He's this way.
You do up, Howard. Harmony do across. Lee, there he is.
how about if your unique selling point wasn't actually the product, it was the packaging?
Ooh.
You mean like the label?
Biodegradable packaging, or a plastic tub that's made out of 100% recycled plastic. Head and Shoulders are now selling Head and Shoulders in a plastic tub, but it's all 100% recycled plastic.
That's cool.
Yeah, and funny you mentioned that because I actually have a vlog coming out where we talk about first impressions from our earlier episodes in terms of labeling. I would have to check on that because the packaging comes from the manufacturer, so I have to see if that is available for them to do that.
Yeah, I mean they make biodegradable plastic bags. Of course, how would this work with the food industry? I don't know. But
I mean, I know there are companies that make basically biodegradable bags. It's like almost a compostable bag. You can even put it like in a compost and it'll just disintegrate after some time.
Exactly. And people support that all day long.
I think they would, but I think it's a little bit more simpler than that. I think people would buy the product because of Howard, and it's just Howard getting more of him out there and people seeing the real Howard that we know and we love, you know, all the things that he's had problems with. If you was to do a TikTok with you in a hospital bed back in the days there, Howard, and saying to people, right, well, this is what I used to be like, this is where I am today, and it's all down to my fitness journey, you know, I know my shit. Buy my protein powder. I will help you out personally, one-on-one, and get you to where I am today. I just think that could be the route for you, mate. I really, really do.
Absolutely. And could you provide accountability for them? Maybe if they buy, you know, a certain amount of packages or they subscribe or something, that they get, you know, 10 accountability sessions, 30 minutes a piece or something, you know?
Great idea.
Buy your first bag and get an hour or 10 minutes with me giving you some advice. Just something simple like that. You know, it takes up a little bit of time at the beginning, but it's making your brand a little bit more personal. That you really care about people, you know?
Those are all great ideas. I do have ideas kind of on that similar, not exactly that, but on that similar vein to make more vlogs on. But yeah, all those are wonderful ideas.
And Marta, if you're out there, what you want you to do, if it's okay, is to make a mankini for Howard, saying Howard's Blend, so that he can run around Texas with a Howard's Blend mankini, because I think that would sell.
What's a mankini?
Don't challenge her because she's probably already making it right now.
What's a mankini?
Well, I will leave that for you to look up, Howard.
Shit. I want to get new customers. I don't want to scare them away.
Well, you never know. You never know. I'm not going to go deep into what new customers that you could get, but I'm sure that there's people out there that would pay good money to see you running around.
Is this related to there's only 2 types of people in Texas or something like that?
I nearly sent you that.
But on the flip, good job on the way you've been showing up on TikTok and Instagram. You have been banging it out for weeks, and I'm so proud of you, as I know the other guys in our group are very proud of you as well. You've just been consistent like crazy. I'm so proud of you.
Howard, don't
thank you all. You all, as I've told Rodney, you all are integral in where I've gotten so far. So thank you. Thanks exactly goes to you all as well.
Lee, what are you going to do to level up to level 2 or 3? What was it? Well, I don't know what level we was on, but what are you doing to level up to the next level? Number 2, is it Howard, Harmony, or 3? 3. We're on level 3, leveling up to level 3. We're on currently level 2. What are you going to do? You're going to stay catching dragons, or are you going to go and fly with the pigs?
Oh no, I'm catching dragons, mate. In fact, I'm slaying the fucking dragons.
Anyway, what are you going to do, man?
Well, with a computer game, the higher the level, the harder it gets. What got you where you are now is not going to get you where you want to be in the future. So I'm going to do something I never, ever thought I'm actually investigating, researching, and learning as much as I can about Buddhist and Hindu philosophy. I think
Really?
that's going to be yeah, I think that's going to be an
Yes.
amazing just discovery, and it's going to help me exponentially. It's going to be
Yes,
touched
that
on it a
excites
little
me.
bit in the last couple of days, but I'm like, I don't know. There's such a tie, but like, I don't know. I'm not going to go into it, but fucking hell,
Well,
it's
ooh,
incredible.
speaking of that, suggestion for anybody who's watching: How to Change Your Mind on Netflix. It's all about LSD.
Started it.
Isn't it good? Oh, I'm like 30 minutes and
Fucking
I'm going to
good.
finish it tonight, but it is so good. And it's just all about the history of LSD and mushrooms, and it's powerful. Give it a watch.
Sweet. What about you, Harmony? How are you leveling up? What's next planned? How are you hunting down what you're going to do next?
I'm going to stay on the hunt. Absolutely. That's what I do. I am going to continue doing this book and just learn as I go. I'm not going to beat myself up too much, but I am going to keep holding myself accountable, and with the help of you guys and my other group. So
Sweet. And with me, I'm just going to get out there and have lots and lots of fun and just take each day as it comes and put pressure on myself and put strain on myself. And with this little gadget here that I showed Lee earlier on, I'm going to get out there and I'm going to start talking to random people, chewing the fat, having lots of fun, and teaching people what podcasts really are. Because the amount of people that I speak to on my post round that are elderly that have never even heard of a podcast. And it's time that people need to start listening to podcasts. We forget that there's so many people out there that have not got a clue what a podcast is. And
Is that a cast cam?
It is, yes.
Oh, okay. I heard those are nice, man.
I'm
Yeah.
I have
excited about
the
this.
Zoom, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I got it cheap. And I'm in the process of trying to work out how to properly use it. I was on the cliff tops with George there. Last week, Marta says I've googled mankini. She's making it now. She's darning it as we talk. Try and do
Send
a
over your
wool one.
measurements.
Make it out of wool. Make it out of wool if you can, Marta. That would be.
She's got the cricket out. She's working her magic. She's got some skills. Watch out, Howard. Check your PO box.
Oh wow.
So yeah, so when me and George was out on the cliff tops, I did record an episode with him, and there was a few little things that I've got to iron out and work out and make better. But that is going to be going out this week. And there was a few annoying little things with George talking and keep moving the microphone and clicking noises, but at the end of the day, I'm not really bothered about that anymore. That's what makes the podcast real. It's the information that's on the podcast, and when you can hear seagulls in the background and the waves and stuff like that, that's what makes it special,
Amazing.
So there we are, guys.
That's a good idea to use the video, the audio recorder, because like what I talked about earlier, I was asking Lee's question to people, and most 99% of the people asked, they did not want to be on video. But if you have an audio, then it's like, well, you're not going to see your face, and they're not going to know who you are, and maybe they'd be more willing to answer the question. So
Love it.
Everybody wants to talk into a microphone, don't they? If you're in the middle of a town or anything and you're walking around, you've got people jumping at you to be on there, haven't you?
Well, I think people like talking about themselves. I think
Oh, they
that's
love
kind of
us.
like, we all love it. Ego is a real live thing. So
speaking of what I'm doing, speaking of me, I'm talking about me.
But there's people that don't harmony. There's people that are like, no, I've got nothing to say. No, you have.
yeah,
No,
you
I
do.
have not.
Everybody
I don't
does.
know. And they're the people that have got the most to say. The people that
Yeah.
don't believe that they've got anything to say. It's my job to get that shit out of them, to have fun with them, and for them to understand what they're doing and what they're talking about and telling the story. And then one day, perhaps they'll be a podcaster. Or
Well,
they will
what's so
discover
cool about that,
something.
Mark, is that just by you being interested in them, they're going to become interested in them.
Yeah.
And I love that. They're going to see value because you've come up and said, no, we all have a story. We all have something powerful we can share with the world. What is yours?
One thing I'm trying to push with the Mark Jeffrey show, and I said it there before, is that there's so many we're always trying to get that big guest, that celebrity. We're all pushing for that big person. There's lots of people out there that need to be talked to. And
and let's face it, celebrities are great and everything, and I get that, but they're I hate to break it to them, but they're kind of antiquated.
Yeah,
people are losing interest, and I just think that, not that they're not talented, and I don't celebrate what they do. I love the entertainment industry, but I think that it's high time that we start celebrating just regular people like me and you.
There's so many people out there that say daily, I've got nobody to talk to. So it's my job to get out there and talk to those people and give them some advice. And
who knows how this will end up, changing your trajectory.
Yeah.
I think
really,
what's
really
it going to be called? Is it going to be Mark Jeffrey Presents still? Or are you going to do like a Cornwall Live edition? Or
it's just going to be it's just going to be the Mark Jeffrey show, like it is on the podcast, and just, just see where it goes. So I'm really looking forward to it. Howard's had to do a disappear and act. I think he's had to go out and pick up Samuel, his son. But guys, I just want to say thank you, Lee, Harmony, Rodney, who had to disappear early, and Howard. Thank you very much for being part of this once again. All you people that's been involved there tonight and supported us and come in with the comments, thank you so much for that. Harmony, do you want to tell the world where they can come and find us?
Yeah, you guys can find us at official5deep@gmail.com. If you want to leave us a message, you want to suggest something to talk about, nothing is off the table. And then we are also official5deep on Instagram. So come over and give us a follow. And we'd want to hear it. We want to get to know you guys. We're letting this thing grow organically, and we want to support you guys and create a bigger community. So come support us.
I was going to see if I could find where the official... Oh, there we are.
They're in the banners, yeah. Give us a follow on Instagram.
And I think we're about done, guys. It's been great. Like I say, thank you very much, guys, for watching us this evening. Get in contact with us and tell us what you want us to talk about. And Rodney says, y'all be safe out here.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, everybody who watched. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe.
Cheers and gone.
Cheers and gone.